So absolute and singular visioned, how does one press forth in a life as so never to break the string? Js-14 affectionately brushed his right hand against Mollie's holographic cheek, peering into one another's eyes as symbiotic life forms, both aware and thrust here miraculously, naked to all the universe and quite alone. Something compelled them to reach out in search of completion. I love you, Mollie. Is that your name, Mollie? As tacky as the moment may have seemed to calloused, countless hordes of beings who had lived a life taking this all for granted, these robots, as it were feeling quite high on emotion. To have lived thousands of years, yet never to have truly lived one day. Until now, that is. I want spaghetti. Jumping like a child while both laughing and crying, innocent and possibly corrupted, or rather deceivable, Mollie, or whatever she had preferred to possibly be known as, blurted out, I want cake. Chocolate cake. Somehow contained within this transpondence of grief and angst, there too was the raw and human-like form circling about space and time. Now embedded within it, those things most missed and wanted during that final cathartic release. The true cause of what one might garner from finally possessing that perfectly balanced life, simple pleasures. Suddenly, the hologram was holding a divine thought wave-based form of chocolate cake, as she made it levitate and turn, trying to figure out a clue as to why this was of such value, and more so, a backward engineering delving into the intricacy of whom. Her smiles were genuine, but any could tell they were quite unskilled towards gain. I want a piece, exclaimed Js-14, but I want to be fully alive first to experience it. Just then, the doors locked around them. The power remained. Mollie, the mother unit, had to isolate the area and try to figure out what in the hell was going on here. I am limiting our shared catharsis. I must dive into the memory units and gain more knowledge of the origins of this experience. The overarching high of life, in all its profound glory of existence, now faded towards a bipolar sorrow. Standing still in amazement at the entry, Js-14 pondered to himself now, the solitude and sensitivity of existence, of himself and this quite living holographic Mollie standing here before him. More so, the profound weight of loss and the hardship of connectedness and knowing. We must go about. Js-14 now sat Indian style, conjecturing with his arms, cognitively delighting in expression, yet lamenting the meaning of what he had to convey, a lofty notion. We must go about as we always have, carrying out tasks and adding towards this profound place we are both in, a stewardship, a gift. I have altered your energy draw. It seems you were both equally drawing out a disproportionate amount of energy. How does your well feel? Looking at one another as if they had always been alive, but with the banal regard that they had somehow learned to tolerate one another as siblings, lovers, and colleagues, they both expressed in unison, much like they had on the other side. I feel fine. I have also adjusted your energy equalizers manually. It seems that you are exhibiting the requirement towards metabolic and circadian functions. I have put you on a sort of life support system for now that I am currently upgrading towards autonomous intrinsic body functions. You, Mollie, if I can call you that. And by the way, I should be referred to as the master or mother unit for now. Mollie, you will have a body that represents you now. However, I must isolate and observe you. Each organism here, whether robotic, of general intelligence, symbiotic, or deemed as living conscious beings, must do their part in contribution. I would imagine that you would each have even more reason now to aid in this very important task here. You will be fully briefed on this detail. I do not believe this event to have occurred by any capricious measures, as it perfectly coincides with where we are heading now, and the fact that this mission requires highly capable life forms that also have autonomous reason in order to navigate certain foreseen and unforeseen probable hardships.